नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Welcome all of you to our daily Bhagavad Gita reading session. So we were reading introduction. So yesterday we had seen, the false ego. We have defined false ego, and we have also seen how we are now suffering in our contaminated consciousness. Okay, we have a tendency to lord over the material nature, and also we have seen what is pure consciousness, what is liberation, and in that pure consciousness, what should we do? Means, okay, how we can achieve that purified consciousness. Okay, currently we are in contaminated consciousness, and if we will follow the instruction of the Lord, that is pure consciousness or Krishna consciousness. And we have seen also various energy of the Lord, and we have seen what is the difference between the Jiva and Supreme Lord, And we have also seen there are three kind of realization, and out of which Bhagavan realization is the supreme. Yeah? Okay, so let us begin our reading today. Here in this chart, we have summarized different various energies of the Lord. Okay, you see, Lord has two primary divisions. One is spiritual energy, which is para, superior. Okay, para means superior, and another is material energy, which is apara. Okay, opposite of para, that means inferior. Okay, so in apara there is lacking of consciousness. Okay, it is unconscious, whereas in para there is consciousness. So para again is divided into two. One is antaranga, which is internal energy of the Lord, and another is marginal or tatastha energy of the Lord. So we fall here. All the jivas or the souls, individual souls, they fall in tatastha energy of the Lord, and which is inseparable with the Lord, that is antaranga, which is internal to him. This is inseparable. This is always with the Lord. Okay. So these are again divided into three. One is Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Briefly, we had discussed yesterday. Sat potency is again called Sandhini Shakti. From which, how to understand it. Sat means eternality. And Chit aspects refers to the cognitive potency. That means the knowledge potency. That is Sambit Shakti. And the Ananda potency, it is like bliss or pleasure potency, or Allahadini Shakti. Allahadini Shakti. So Srimati Radharani is the Allahadini Shakti. And she is the embodiment of all the spiritual bliss. What the Jiva will experience in his perfected stage, this Allahadini, this prema, So this comes from this Allahadini Shakti. And the Chit potency, the knowledge of the soul, who am I, okay, who is Krishna, how I should serve him, my actual position is Jivera Swarupa hai Nitya Krishna Das. All these sambandha, that relationship aspects, that knowledge, that is Sambit potency. So who is none other than, this comes from Lord Balarama, the Sambit potency. Okay. And Sandhini Shakti is eternality, the eternality aspects, and the spiritual dham. Okay, so this also comes from Lord Baladev or Balaram. Okay, so Sandhini, so Vrindavan Dham, here in the Bhaumya Vrindavan or in the spiritual abode. Okay, so when Krishna expand himself to Lord Baladev, that is the first expansion. And Lord Baladev is the same Lord Krishna, but in the mood of service. So who can serve the Lord to the fullest than himself? No one. So that's the reason he expanded himself in a different mood to serve Krishna, okay, to give pleasure to Krishna. So Lord Baladev has expanded himself into the dham, and Govardhan, Vrindavan Dham, Govardhan, and the rivers, mountains, the paraphernalias, the kartal, mridang, everything. Okay, and he also himself created the souls for the pleasure of Krishna. So he has also created the material world to facilitate the independent will of Jiva. So everything find source in Lord Baladev, and Baladev is the expansion of Krishna. So this is a very depth subject. Okay, we will discuss in great detail maybe sometime, some other time. Okay, this is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, let us begin our reading today. The complete whole, the personality of Godhead, has immense potencies. Parasya Saktir Vividhaiva Shruyate, like we have seen. How Krishna is acting in different potencies is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. This phenomenal world or material world in which we are placed is also complete in itself, because the 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation according to Sankhya philosophy are completely adjusted to produce complete resources which are necessary for the maintenance and subsistence of this universe. There is nothing extraneous, nor is there anything needed. This material universe is also complete in itself. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnas Om this verse comes in Isopanishad. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnasya Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. He is complete. A lot of complete wholes are emanating from him. Even though the complete wholes are emanating, but still whatever is remaining, he is also complete. So this is very beautiful verse, comes in Isopanishad. We'll also study, but for the time being, this much is okay. So the universe itself, which is coming from the body of the Supreme Lord, that itself is also complete. That consists of 24 elements, 5 knowledge senses, 5 working senses, and 5 tanmatra, and 5 panchamahabhuta, and then manna, buddhi, ahankar, and then unmanifested form of Prakriti. So this consists of 24 elements. This manifestation has its own time fixed by the energy of the supreme whole. And when its time is complete, this temporary manifestation will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete. There is complete facility for the small complete units, namely the living entities, to realize the complete. And all sorts of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. So, Bhagavad Gita contains the complete knowledge of Vedic wisdom. Lot of repetition of complete, complete, complete. So, what does it mean? This material creation is complete in itself. That means the very purpose of this material creation is to facilitate Jiva's progression from this material world to spiritual world again. Okay, so Jiva Krishna Vimukh hua hai. Okay, now he has to turn towards Krishna. This facilitation is done by this material world, and it has complete potential to do that. This material world is annihilated and created in its cyclically. We had seen also earlier how one Dibya Yuga consists of all four yugas, and then they repeat itself, and in the Brahma's day 1,000 Dibya Yugas are there. Okay, all these we have discussed. Although this in this the material world is complete, and also the tiny living entity, he is also complete. To realize also the supreme whole, means the supreme Lord. But why we are feeling incompleteness? Because of incomplete knowledge. We do not have the complete knowledge about the complete or about the supreme Lord. That's the reason we are feeling all sorts of incompleteness. But Bhagavad Gita provides this complete knowledge. Who will study Bhagavad Gita, he will have the access to this complete knowledge. Then he can know, okay, he can develop the knowledge about the complete. All Vedic knowledge is infallible, and Hindus accept Vedic knowledge to be complete and fallible. For example, cow dung is the stool of an animal, and according to Smriti or Vedic injunction, if one touches the stool of an animal, he has to take a bath to purify himself. But in the Vedic scriptures, cow dung is considered to be a purifying agent. One might consider this to be contradictory, but it is accepted because it is Vedic injunction. And indeed, by accepting this, one will not commit a mistake. Subsequently, it has been proved by modern science that cow dung contains all antiseptic properties. So Vedic knowledge is complete because it is above all doubts and mistakes. And Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. We had seen Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. And Veda means knowledge. This is infallible. Okay. From time immemorial, whatever injunctions or teachings are there in the Veda, there is no doubt. It is always true. Okay, one such example has been given. Cow dung is considered to be purifying. Okay, in Vedic injunctions, whereas stool as such is an abominable substance. But Veda says cow dung is purifying. So the same has been proved also by modern science. Cow dung contains all antiseptic properties. In my childhood, means I used to stay in our house, everywhere. It used to be painted by cow dung only, and in the childhood we have played and we grown up in that, so there is no any problem. I remember my mother used to also cook by using this dry cow dungs. So the entire means our subsistence, our total existence was heavily dependent on the cows. The milk, and then cow is helping in plowing the field. So this is what was our Vedic civilization in the ancient days. Okay? And then we can relate, means 100 years before also it was quite natural. And even I'm talking of in 20-30 years back in our village also it was quite natural. But now things have changed. Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. Our research work is imperfect because we are researching things with imperfect senses. We have to accept perfect knowledge which comes down as is stated in Bhagavad Gita by parampara or disciplic succession. We have to receive knowledge from the proper source in disciplic succession, beginning with the supreme spiritual master, the Lord himself, and handed down to a succession of spiritual masters. Arjuna, the student who took lessons from Lord Sri Krishna, accepts everything that he says without contradicting him. One is not allowed to accept one portion of Bhagavad Gita and not another. This Vedic knowledge, it's not a question of research. Whatever has been stated here, they are all true because this has come from the Supreme Lord. And researching, even though if you will research, how we will engage our imperfect senses also in research. So by using imperfect senses, how can we get the perfect knowledge? This is again also not possible. And this perfect knowledge has come from the Supreme Lord himself in the disciplic succession of Guru and Shishya. Okay, that's how it has come down to us. And we cannot say that one portion of the Bhagavad Gita we accept and not another. No. If we have to accept, we have to accept Bhagavad Gita incomplete. No, we must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation, without deletion, and without our own whimsical participation in the matter. The Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is received from transcendental sources, and the first words were spoken by the Lord himself. The words spoken by the Lord are called apaurisaya, meaning that they are different from words spoken by a person of the mundane world who is infected with 4 defects. These knowledge, the Vedic knowledge, they are called apaurisaya because they are free from defects. Okay, that has come from the Supreme Personality, the Supreme Purusha. That's the reason these Vedic knowledge are called apaurisaya, free of any defects. So this has been spoken by the person who is not infected with these 4 kind of defects. Like all of us, we are prone to all these 4 type of defects. What are they? A mundaner is sure to commit mistakes. To error is human. Second is invariably illusion. We all are illusion. Third, has the tendency to cheat others. And fourth, is limited by imperfect senses. We can experience, it's not a rocket science. We have imperfect senses because, if we look at our vision, we cannot see the UV rays. We cannot perceive the object which moves very fast. In our hearing also, we cannot hear all the sounds in the entire spectrum. No, we can only hear a particular amount, a particular frequency of the sounds. Similarly, all our senses are imperfect, and because of this, we commit mistakes. We commit mistakes. Because if senses are not perfect, then of course we can commit mistakes. And we are illusion too. Okay, because of this imperfect senses. Okay, we are illusion too. We perceive sometimes in a desert, we see the mirage and assume that, oh, this might be a source of water. Okay. All sorts of, sometimes in the dark night, we see a rope and perceive it as if it is a snake. So this kind of illusions exist. Because of illusion, and we have a tendency to commit mistakes. So that's the reason, we have a tendency also to cheat others, because we all have a tendency to show superiority of ourselves, but actually we are not. Okay, in order to hide this, we have a cheating propensity. All of us have a cheating propensity. So these four are very inherent. With these four imperfections, one cannot deliver perfect informations of all pervading knowledge. Vedic knowledge is not imparted by such defective living entities. It was imparted unto the heart of Brahma. Bhagavatam says, Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavai. So Supreme Lord has transferred this knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the first created living being. And Brahma in his turn disseminated this knowledge to his sons and disciples as he originally received it from the Lord. The Lord is Purnam, all perfect, and there is no possibility of his becoming subjected to the laws of material nature. So Lord is free from all these kind of defects because he is not subjected to this law of material nature. He is Purnam, all perfect. So, and this knowledge is coming from him, and he is transferring this knowledge to the heart of Brahma, and then Brahma is transferring to his sons and disciples, and that's how it has come down to us. And you see, we might not have perfect knowledge, but we have access to perfect knowledge. We hear it, then we can get perfect knowledge, even though with this imperfect senses. Okay, and because we are not using our mental speculation or intelligence to figure it out, we are just hearing, we are just grasping this knowledge which has come down from the Supreme Lord himself. One should therefore be intelligent enough to know that the Lord is the only proprietor of everything in the universe, and that he is the original creator, the creator of Brahma. In the 11th chapter, the Lord is addressed as Prapitamaha because Brahma is addressed as Pitama, the grandfather, and he is the creator of the grandfather. Grandfather means Pitama, and Lord is Prapitamaha. That means who is father of the grandfather, because he is the source of Brahma. From his navel only a lotus sprouts, and in that Brahma was manifested. So no one should claim to be the proprietor of anything. One should accept only things set aside for him by the Lord as his quota for his maintenance. Here are many examples given of how we are to utilize those things which are set aside for us by the Lord. Okay, we will see those examples tomorrow. Okay, so here it is. Yesterday we had studied that we should give up the mentality of creator and enjoyer. Rather, we should cultivate a mindset of cooperator. Okay, we should cooperate with Lord's plan. Okay, we should obey his instructions, and the very basic of our existence is to give him the pleasure. So we have to work as per the will of the Lord, like Arjuna did. Karishye vachanam tava. And here, the very first, here it is being told that, no one should claim to be proprietor of anything. Everything is created by the Lord. Okay, we are not the creator. So hence we are not the creator, so we are not also the proprietor of anything. Everything belongs to God. So for the time being, we have a limited possession over something, but that is also coming with some limited time. So for example, whatever we accumulate at the time of the death, nothing will belong to us. Okay, our next generation will inherit that. So that's the reason we should not be too much attached. We should not develop too much hankering to acquire things. Okay, we should at least, whatever is our quota. Okay, that is very important to understand what is the real quota. So that we will see tomorrow. Okay, Hare Krishna. Time is up. Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you all very much for your patient hearing and coming every day.